Good evening and welcome to episode 3 of the Above Average Joes podcast. I'm Kyle.
I'm Heath.
And on today's show, we're going to talk some CFL, some free agent signings, who might be next, and we're going to talk some NFL, playoff matchups, who we like going forward, coach firings, who's on the short lists to replace those fellers.
And then we'll jump into, I believe we're going to do a little college football talk. We've got a pretty intriguing national championship final, LSU and Clemson. A couple of real stud quarterbacks there, so we'll get into that one.
Yeah, they're a little studly.
And then we'll talk a little bit of Leafs. Yeah, I didn't really want to either, but we'll do a little pet peeve of mine. We can maybe...
Is this just to make the Leaf fans stay till the end of the show?
No. The best Leaf fan is the one that's walking away from you because you told them off. Anyway, we're going to talk some Leafs, some Oilers, why they're falling. Torts' little rant that he had the other night. Torts, man, clip a minute, that dude. I love him. All-star teams were announced, and it's more notable maybe who isn't there than who is there. And then we'll jump right into the hockey everybody wants to be talking about, at least in Canada. Some
World Juniors.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about the captain going down and the team folding against Russia and the little bounce back they had today.
Yeah.
And a little bit more.
And a little bit more. We're still not out of the woods, Canada.
Nope, not out of the woods yet. But they win, is that tomorrow?
Yeah.
They win tomorrow and they get first in the...
Well, basically, we're jumping right to the end of the damn show. Okay, anyway, go back right to the beginning
Squirrel.
here. Dan the man, Clark. Attaboy.
I like that signing, but I want to know if you like the signing because... We started this podcast basically because you'd sit at coffee and tell me how much you dislike Dan Clark.
Well, and he's going to see me at like Walmart one day in town here and be like, yeah, smack. No, I don't know. I've been always kind of tore about Dan Clark. Like I always say, I like the hometown guys, but at the same time, I don't know. Center's a tough place to assess and it's a tough place to play. And we've had other guys go in there in the past and... I thought we did just as well or better. So anyway, not going to knock down. He got paid. He was an all-star this year. So what more do you want from the guy, right?
Well, I'm not just quite
I'm
sure.
willing to eat my words.
What hasn't he done to prove to you that he is a good center?
You got me. Exactly. You got me. I'm going to change topics.
Right on. Who's next? Who's next?
Well, just to follow up, cover of the Rolling Stone here. No, there's 2 more Canadian linemen that we need to possibly re-sign that we got to look at, and 2 more American O-linemen. So we're not out of the woods yet. There's still some decisions to be made.
Still early,
but progress nonetheless. So
I love the Jeter signing.
Yeah, I do too. I think he's a good rotational end at the very least, and I think he could probably work himself into a little more of a regular downs, higher snap count kind of guy.
For sure.
And that'll be maybe determined a little bit about how much traction there is on any talks of getting AC Leonard back here too. So he could prove to be a pretty valuable signing. So,
and I'm betting the contract isn't.
It would be crazy.
They
brought him back mid-season last year. So, I mean, he's not a huge dollar guy, but I mean, hopefully he's getting enough that he's happy and he sticks around for 2 years and does some. But we also still got Hughes, Micah, and Leonard, like I said earlier, that are out there. I'm expecting 1 of those guys, possibly 2. I don't see all 3. So bringing the Geets back is maybe a sign Leonard maybe on a shorter rope. Who knows? Maybe Hughes because he's up in age.
We already signed Hughes.
Oh, we did. That's true. Okay.
But
shut the hell up.
Did I read correctly that we signed Knox, Jeff Knox Jr.? Did I read that correctly?
Matt,
can you check that up? I thought I saw something.
Can't just sit in there and look
this
pretty,
morning
Matt.
Or late yesterday that we signed Jeff Knox Jr.
It's darker in that room too. That's why Matt gets to sit in there.
That's right.
He's boiling things up in the lab.
I don't see anything officially on the riders.
Okay, maybe they're working on it.
Okay, I don't know if it was the riders. Check 3 Down Nation.
Yep.
Anyway, but we've got also 2 Canadian
they're the authority
D-linemen.
other than us.
we also got 2 Canadian D linemen in Reeves and Henry. So having a starter on that D line on the interior, we need a backup. So Henry, I think, is a legit D line every down guy if we need him to be. Mr. Reeves, he's a little more of a special teamer, in my opinion. But
And how does he come back from the injury?
yeah, true. But I also think with some of our previous signings already, Buka to guys like that of that nature, Canadians also. I also think that the chances of Reeves really being needed may not be as high either. Just we seem to have secured some pretty good special teamers too. So
Yeah, I hope we get him back though.
I hope the best for the guy. I don't want to
I'm
see
more
him
that
hurt, but
I'm Hardy. I want to see this kid that we signed 3 years ago, and he hasn't played it like a down.
back when I had no gray in my beard.
like
Well, not quite, but pretty close. But
like
anyway,
to see that kid.
yeah. But
Anyways,
there's
moving on.
also, speaking of rider news, we got some rider news on guys trying out in the NFL.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, what are the odds? So I'm going to touch on 2 guys who are non-riders. Winston Rose got signed by the Cincinnati Bengals, which good for him. Get your money. Weakens the Bombers. I love that.
Who doesn't?
Yeah. Anyway, no, hey, hats off to him. He was a hell of a good ball player, so he got his money. Hopefully he can stick there. I think he can stick there.
What was his
with
contract? Do you know?
a couple of years, I'm guessing, but I didn't really see any details. They just said they signed him. So
an actual signing, not just a workout.
yeah, the signing bonus is always the dictator there, right?
Yeah.
So we'll maybe get some more details in the coming days, but at the same time, Cincinnati full rebuild pretty much in that NFL franchise. So he's got a shot to play. He's not going to be buried behind a bunch of, in a real good deep depth chart. So good on his agent for helping him find a place that he can potentially play too. So if nothing else, stick. And the other one is Reggie Begelton. He's got 5 different tryouts, and I personally think out of all the guys that are going down there to try, he's probably the one I think that's going to stick. That's just my hunch. But
Where are his stops?
he's Cincy, Arizona, Indy, the Giants, and Minnesota. And Minnesota was, if you remember, Zylstra went there too. So not that he's there anymore, but at the same time, they do have a bit of an affinity. And same with Indy, they've got a bit of a
Well, they at least
a little
give,
special place for
they
those
give
CFL
guys a shot.
Yeah.
They don't usually stick, but yeah, they give him a shot.
So, I don't know. The Giants seem to have their slot positions kind of locked up. I don't know if his chances of getting on the field there are pretty good or not, but it all depends on who their next head coach is, I guess. But so we'll get back to the rider guys because, well, that's all we give a shit about. So
For the most part,
for the most part. But Shaq has got a little free agent tryout down there. He's also with the Giants. Not too sure there, but they're also in a full-on rebuild. So if they want to go cheaper, younger, he maybe has a shot there.
I think he's as good as anybody else they have there.
Yeah.
I hear Shaq is a little bit older though. No.
No, not too bad.
Isn't he
No,
like 20
not Shaquille O'Neal. I mean, he'd win
Wrong
every
Shaq,
Yeah,
Matt.
wrong Shaq, Matt. Jesus, he'd win every fucking jump ball. I mean,
Well, you're our statistician, so I think he's like, isn't he like 26?
as long as he doesn't have to shoot free throws, they're
He's
gonna
not that old, 25, 26.
young enough he can play.
For sure. I think he's got the skills to play down there.
Yeah, and then well, not that he's a
I
rider,
don't
but
want him to.
no. Well, I'm always greedy, but at the same time,
Yeah.
hey, if the guy can get paid, man.
Absolutely.
Straight cash, homie. Willie Jefferson, former rider. I hope he may be a guy I'd like him back here again. I don't know.
Does he have any NFL workouts?
Miami. He's going to go to Miami.
How many?
Full on rebuild though again, right? So
But how many
another guy
times-
with maybe a good opportunity to do it. So
Yeah. I don't know. I think he may have already had his opportunities, and now it's
true, and he's a really tall, lanky type.
Get
I don't
your-
know if he's a stand-up linebacker or if he's a true DN down there. Maybe a bit of a tweener, but he's definitely got the frame and the athleticism. Well, the frame to put a little bit of poundage on if he needs to. So
for
not
sure.
not
But
everybody walks in the
would he
door
be
at
the same
6'6".
player though?
Well,
You know what
they're
happens? Some
asking
of those
for a different
guys-
player to some degree down there. though,
He's
too.
already a different player. He was a wide receiver, turned
Yeah,
into a DN. So, and you want to make him even bigger.
Whatever. Hey, whatever works.
He's a freak, so
He is. He's a great player. So the other one is Nick Marshall with Rose signing there. I don't know if Nick he was getting a kick at the can down in Cincinnati. We're on to Cincinnati. The Bengals, like I said, not a great depth chart. So maybe Rose going there keeps Marshall from going there. I don't think Marshall's tape this year was as good as the year before.
To me, it's not Marshall's talent that's going to hold him back. It's his not being in every play 100%.
Yeah, well, like I said, his tape showed better 2 years ago than it did last year. But, I mean, still a young enough guy, athletic enough guy. He may get another shot at going down there if he comes back and has another really good year.
Yeah, but if you're getting eaten up by CFL receivers,
yeah,
you're going to get destroyed.
Depends on it, though, too. I mean, if he was playing
Unless you're playing the Cowboys because they don't know how to catch balls.
Fair enough. But, no, I mean, it all depends on the technique and the style of defense, though, too. I mean, playing man-to-man in the CFL is pretty damn tough, you know. But maybe he can go there, be his own guy. I don't know. But still,
no, he's got definitely has the talent.
Still young enough. Everything else. So
definitely has the talent.
Another guy is Cam Judge. We got to get Cam Judge a little press because I love the guy, but it also leads us into charging Cam. If you're ever going to listen to us before you sign down there, I highly doubt it. I don't know. Maybe he will. But if you sign in San Diego, I can no longer like you.
I think they're in L.A. now, aren't they?
Wow. Oh, shit. I always forget that. Yes, L.A. Good catch, Matt.
And for the record, Shaq Evans is 28.
Huh?
Well, a little older. I was going to guess 26.
Well, 28's so old.
Yeah, well, still a puppy. But anyway, no, charging. Don't go charging. Cam, come back. We love you.
Yes. Don't go charging.
And the other backer that we're talking about, Miami, Oakland, Cincy, Detroit, Arizona, and the Jets are all taking a little kick. I shouldn't say a kick after all this.
After all the NHL stuff.
Crap.
Yeah, no kicking.
Yeah, no kicking.
It's a kick-free zone.
Kick-free zone. Yeah, wide right. Derek Moncrief, I think he's sticking.
He stays, yeah.
He's sticking.
He's NFL talent.
I don't know how else to say it, but
he's pretty deserving.
Yeah, he is quite deserving. And I think he's athletic enough with enough range that I think he could be a cover linebacker / in the box safety type guy. He's a pretty good tackler. So I hate to see a guy leave the Riders, but hey, get paid, young man. Get paid.
Get paid.
So anyway, we'll just jump out of the CFL stuff. Let's get to the NFL.
That was actually a pretty good CFL segment for, nothing going on.
Well, it's not like eventful news.
My brother will be enthused.
Yeah, well, as long as...
He's going, can you have some more CFL and Rider talk? Because we don't get any out here in the shoe shop.
Yeah.
So,
well...
That's their fault.
And it's not like you could be a BC Lion fan. Not after last year. Why are we still talking about... I don't want to talk about the goddamn Lions. Defanged Lions.
All right.
Anyway,
NFL.
Yes, coach firings.
That's a good place to start.
Yeah.
Which one?
Black Monday.
Which one do you want to start with? Let's start with the one that's closest to the Riders, Freddie Kitchens.
Freddie Kitchens.
Knew it was happening.
Burnt the soup, Freddie Kitchens.
It's not
Burnt
so good.
The soup.
Not so good in the kitchen.
Part of me doesn't feel too bad about Freddie Kitchens. Main reason, what made him what he was, the phenom, the hot name, was he stopped doing. When you're the guy that's calling plays and you get Baker to play that well and you're developing a young quarterback, maybe keep calling the plays. So be smart enough to know what you're good at. Be smart enough to know what you don't know. Yeah, Freddie, you burnt the soup, damn it. So he's out. He is out, and there are some names out there. McDaniels is pretty much rumored to be part of everything.
I think I've got a theory about things. So we can go the other firing Schumer. Okay, so these are all very successful coordinators.
Yeah,
getting head coaching jobs.
Yeah,
they are not the same coaching job. No, just because you were a good coordinator does not make you a good head coach.
True, but the only way...
But how many times do you see this happen?
Well, fair enough.
There's
it does
a difference
happen.
between
It does happen, but it has to happen. It has to happen.
Sure.
Coaches are hired to be fired.
True.
Bill Belichick was fired once.
From where?
Well, enough said.
Enough
but
said.
still hired to be fired, right? And the only way to get experience is to do the job,
Correct.
right? Like, have you ever looked have you ever looked for like a job in just the newspaper, whatever, online, anything? And it's like, oh, you got to have this degree and then 3 years experience. Well, how the fuck do I get the experience, man? You got to give me the job.
Yep.
Somebody has to give me the job.
No, for
Not
sure.
everyone.
For sure. It just.
So, I mean, with Freddie Kitchens, they are also rumored with McCarthy and Urban Meyer.
Right.
And what's his name? I got him wrote down. No, those are the only guys. But my point was that's their third coach in 5 years, Kitchens. And every guy that's rumored to be going there for an interview, at the very least at this point, is a former head coach.
Mm-hmm.
So that veteran head coach,
Because they learned from their mistake.
fair enough. But I think part of it is you're not desperate to take something though either.
Right.
You know, having a guy like John Dorsey who knows his stuff, he can attract a legit candidate.
Yeah,
right?
all I was saying with the coordinators is that the McDaniels hire just seems to be the automatic. He is, because he's an awesome offensive coordinator, he should be a great head coach. I think that's what they thought with Kitchens. Same thing with Schumer. And that's more my thing is that just because they were successful as coordinators doesn't necessarily
It doesn't
mean that
always
they're
translate. Yeah.
where I think it's only a smaller part of the criteria to be a head coach. Just like Craig Dickinson, he may not be the most X's and O's guy, or that like is a great special teams coordinator, but he knows how to lead men.
Well, and that's sort of the thing. Like, you got to be able to delegate, and I don't. Sometimes those old coordinator guys, you know, like maybe they're the mad scientist, right? They go down the rabbit hole and they don't come out.
Of
right?
coaches. They're the wide receivers of coaches. The offensive coordinators turn head coaches.
Maybe. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They go down the rabbit hole and they just black the room out and work, right? So maybe not a delegate type, you know. There is the odd one, like an Andy Reid, say, right? Who still calls his own plays. They still keep some stuff to themselves, but at the same time, you know, to me, there's only one way that some of these guys are ever going to learn is somebody has to give them a shot.
Well, I think LaFleur's been lucky this year that they've done as well for how shitty he's called some games.
Fair enough, but you got some pretty good talent to bail you out, though, too, sometimes. So, in terms of your training wheels, that's pretty good, right? That's pretty good stability to have Aaron Rodgers holding you up when you're maybe
True.
not calling the best plays, right? Or you got a pretty good defense that can hold it together when you're not calling your best game either. I mean, he's got a pretty good situation in the fact that he does have some pretty good training wheels to lean on. But
Oh, for sure.
with an older quarterback, how long do you want the training wheels to be on?
They better not be on any longer.
Ride, kid, ride. You're going to skin your knee? You're gonna skin
Sorry,
your
I
knee.
keep jumping off tangent here.
No, well, and then while the Jags keep on denying that they're going to fire Doug Marrone, I get that they maybe want to have a little continuity there, but why the hell are you keeping Doug Marrone? He's a
if you're
defensive
cleaning,
guy, and your
if you're cleaning
defense
house,
sucked.
if you're cleaning house, clean house.
You know, you traded away Jalen Ramsey, who is arguably your best defensive player.
Mm-hmm.
They got a bit of a rebuild there too, and they got the young quarterback in house now with Minshew.
They still have Foles, too.
I think you go after a veteran head coach who's on the offensive side of the ball and just draft smart, and away you go. But Doug Marrone's done. I don't think he's got what it takes.
No, I don't think so. either.
Personally, but yeah, but he's not even fired. And here we are talking about him.
But
So
it's the Jags.
it's the Jags. Well, whatever.
Any Jags fans out there, let us know. Above Average Joe's podcast at gmail.com.
There you go. And the
We
other
wanna
guy
hear
we
from you.
should be talking about is Jason Garrett and the Cowboys.
Why
He
isn't
doesn't
he
have
fired
to be
yet?
fired
Why isn't he fired yet?
because
Yeah.
on Wednesday his contract expires.
Oh, so then Jerry doesn't have to
Yes.
fire him.
Well, and he can save face and say
His
he wasn't
son.
fired, right?
Yeah.
So my
Okay.
contract wasn't picked up. Yeah, you're fired.
Sure.
Anyway,
But he should be fired, right?
there's a few interesting thoughts, and on a previous podcast, I kind of threw out a theory that McDaniels and bring a buddy if he ever becomes a free agent, and Tom Brady, maybe they go as a package deal. I don't know if Tom will be a free agent. Maybe he'll go back to New England, but
Maybe after this weekend's game, you don't want Tom Brady.
maybe you don't, hey? Freaking wet noodle right arm.
Fitz magic.
It's thrown a lot of passes, though. So, anyway, they're talking
I
about...
can't believe Jerry's not trying to sign Fitz magic.
I don't know why Jerry's not calling the plays. I mean, holy shit, he does everything else. Huh?
He likes to be involved.
Fuck. Anyway. No, they were asking Jason Witten after the game if he'd be interested in coaching, and then it was the head coaching job, and then he walked away from the reporter. And honest to God, if you think there's a shit show in Dallas, make Jason Witten the head coach. I get it. Maybe he can be a tight end coach. He's 38, right? He knows a lot about football. Let him come be a tight end coach. But this whole idea that he could come in and be the head coach of an NFL football team.
He couldn't even be a Monday Night Football commentator.
Well, a little different criteria there.
Yeah,
but
because that takes so much time and energy.
The current guy's name is Booger.
Booger McFarland.
Yeah,
I love that guy.
Yeah, Captain.
He's way better than...
Yeah, well, Captain Obvious, Booger McFarland.
I think the Cowboys, though, may be competing with the Raiders for most dysfunction.
True.
I think the Raiders
Formerly-
are on the right track, though.
Yeah, they nailed
right now.
down a secure head coach, but when you give a guy a 10-year contract, you pretty much have to ride it out for at least half of it.
Is Carr
So-
staying there?
Carr?
Yeah.
Well, that's a whole other show, but
Okay.
I think given their options, probably. But no, back to the Cowboys, the whole Jason Witten thing, like, it'll make for great TV. It'll be a complete shit show. And I think you might see Jerry Jones, like, did you see him with his hands over his face in the booth there? You're going to see him clutching his goddamn chest by Thanksgiving.
This is just
it's just ludicrous.
this
And the
is
media
just
reaching for
reaching
yeah,
like because
straws.
like that doesn't there's I just
But
geez.
anyway, no, they're talking to Matt Rule from Baylor, and then Urban Meyer's another name, and Lincoln Riley. So
Lincoln Riley, I heard.
they're all college guys, but they're all offensive guys. And I think Jerry, he's got a couple things he's got to deal with on his defense, but he's not scared to spend some money. I think he just wants that offense.
Did
to
he
be more
overspend on Elliott?
No, I think he's a top 5 back. He's a legit threat. No, I think he's fine. It's going to be how much do you pay Dak? But even if you give Dak $35 million, can you get a guy in there who can coordinate and call a game, and get a lot out of him? That's the question. He threw for a pile of yards. His completion percentage wasn't bad.
So, if you had the choice, Dak or Mayfield?
Dak.
Me too.
Currently, Dak.
Yeah, me too.
Ceiling,
So,
if we take personality and maturity out of it, Baker, I think, is the higher ceiling guy.
I'm not so sure.
Well, time will tell, but is he ever going to get mature? Who knows?
Depends who the next
When you're
coach
yelling
is.
at fans from the tunnel, did you see that clip? Yeah. Shut the hell up. Come down here.
They
Holy
need a head
cow.
coach there that demands respect.
Well, I think a guy who's been there, done that, right? So,
Yeah.
like a guy like McCarthy,
Yeah.
offensive guy, he can use those weapons, but at the same time, he walks in the room and it's like, here, look, I'm on my finger. Yeah, I know what I'm doing. So, maybe. We'll see. But another place we're talking about was the Redskins. Oh, my God. NFC East.
Urban Meyer's also been rumored there.
Yeah. Well, they hired Ron Rivera this
Oh,
morning.
they fired
They hired Ron Rivera.
for sure?
Yep. It's confirmed.
Because they
Now,
kicked Bruce Allen out. So that's, that's
and
a
they
good
had
thing.
to, but he's still part of the organization. He's out as team president. Well,
Right.
if you recall last time he was kicked out as team president, what did he do? He undermined that whole side of the football ops, and then he ended up weaseling his way over. That dude needs to just get his
like best
boxes
friends,
packed
right,
to
with,
get the hell out of there. Dan Snyder.
Schneider.
Oh my God. How did Dan Snyder make his money? There's
Not
no
sure.
way he ran a Fortune 500 company, because holy shit.
Internet
Like,
porn?
whatever. I don't know. He's a rich dude. He owns a very valuable franchise, and he can't get one hiring right. Not one. Matt, look that up. How did Dan Snyder make his money?
I'm voting for internet porn.
Anyway, no, but Ron Rivera, and I don't know why Ron didn't go and take a few more interviews. Like, the Redskins are there.
They must
give
be
you an
giving him a
offer.
lot of control.
Maybe. Possibly.
Well, there's no GM, right?
Or is Ron just all horned up and it's like the ex-girlfriend factor, right? She broke my heart. Carolina fired me, broke my heart. I'm just going to get on the first ugly one I see after that.
Well,
Nothing uglier than the Redskins.
The other ugly one is Cleveland.
Well,
And I don't
They
think
didn't
he was
call.
even. Yeah, he did. They didn't even call. So
He didn't get her up to the shooter bar and get her drunk. No, like, well, I don't know. To me, it's a little bit of desperation from Ron. Riverboat Ron. I mean, say what you want about Carolina. They had a bad situation there a little bit this year with Cam.
well, with Cam being down,
So a
it's-
franchise guy goes down. Like, they still actually put up a few wins. They did something. Like, remember when Peyton Manning went down with the Colts? That was a train wreck. That team full on sucked without their franchise passer.
Yep.
Bill Belichick got through it when Brady blew his knee out, right? Matt Castle, 10 wins, made the playoffs. Ron didn't make the playoffs, but I mean, they're pretty damn close to 500 football
Well,
with
Kyle
patchwork
Allen.
quarterback, right? Like,
there's been a
I
lot
don't-
of patchwork quarterbacks this year between the two leagues that actually have turned out not too bad.
not too bad, and it's exciting sometimes to watch the young guys. Maybe they don't put up the big flashy numbers sometimes, but seeing them
You either do the big flashy guys.
fair enough, but seeing them work through it week to week. AA Ron, right here behind me.
That's why he's sitting over with you today.
Yeah, discount double
He's
check.
in.
No,
He's in timeout.
but seeing some of those young guys, it can be exciting to see their progress.
For
See
sure.
some new names get in there, but at the same time, was Rivera really deserved? Did he really deserve to be fired?
No,
It was more,
no, but they're making a change
just a
because
little
I'm betting
tired
Cam's
and-
out too.
yeah. But losing your franchise passer, that's a tough hill.
I'm not sure. Like
Tough hill to
that
climb.
seems like that foot
So-
injury is pretty bad. So
Yeah. Well, and are they going to keep Cam?
will
But
he? I don't think they will. But would anybody pick him up as a starter? I don't
Cam?
think so.
Yeah, I think so.
You think so? Even with
Roll the
the
dice.
injury history?
If you're Bruce Arians, would you rather have Cam coming back, worry about that foot, or Jameis Winston throwing 30-plus picks again?
Well, he's looking for a new
Sign me
quarterback.
Cam.
He made that pretty apparent.
Well, anybody can go out and throw 30 picks. It's different if you're a rookie and you throw 30 picks. He's in his fifth-year option.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a gunslinger. I'll give him that. He's a little bit of that Favre in him, but
Yeah.
somebody has
Can't
to
do
pull
that.
the reins in. And if Bruce
Can't do that in
Arians, the
today's
quarterback whisperer that he is, can't do it, I don't know. I don't think
Okay.
Jameis gives a shit. He just throw. Just going to throw.
Can put
Whatever.
up yards.
Put it up. Anyway, no. And then, well, Carolina, they requested also to look at McDaniels, so we'll see what happens there. I don't know. Carolina's actually a fairly attractive job in a lot of ways. I think they got secure ownership. They got some talent. Yeah, a few holes to fill, but I mean,
Good fan base.
if you're an offensive guy and you knew Cam was going to be healthy and back, they got some good receivers. They got the best, arguably the best back in the league.
Yep.
So that would be an attractive
Yeah,
landing spot.
it
So,
would certainly factor on Cam's health.
right. So anyway, the Giants fired Shermer also. So I'm not too sure I'm totally sold on that. He didn't do a whole lot, but he didn't have a whole lot.
True.
You have 2 seasons of head coaching time, and you basically were told you're going to have Eli Manning as your starting quarterback, who should have been replaced 2 years ago as your guy. Yeah, that's also kind of like Ron. Really didn't have a quarterback. Can you really throw him under the bus? Tough one. In my mind, it's a bit of a tough one, but
It's a big market and you need to win.
yeah, no, true, for sure. And then to add to that, I don't know. I didn't think Shermer was all that bad. You fire him if you think you can get a veteran guy in there, maybe to solidify things a little better, just to run a little better ship. But the 2 rumored names are Jason Garrett
I did not hear that.
I did. And Matt Rule, the Baylor head coach.
I heard that.
So
I heard that one. I did not hear
how
Jason
bad is
Garrett.
Shermer that you're willing to go get a college head coach?
Or a guy who's about to get
Or
fired.
Jason Garrett, who's not even a college head coach.
He's not even fired yet.
Oh my God. I think Jason.
Oh, I just can't wait for that guy who's terrible to get fired.
Well, if the team needs a
'Cause
lot of.
everybody knows it's coming.
Yeah. If you need a lot of pats on the back or bum slaps or, golf claps as your offense
I
turns
just heard
it over.
today that they call him clapping guy
Clapping guy.
because that's what he does on the sidelines.
Oh, I'd rather have the clap than have that
Good,
guy.
good
on
play.
my
Good
sidelines.
play. I know you should have caught that, but good try.
Holy shit.
Good try.
So apparently, if you want to buy an NFL team,
Uh-huh.
you can make your fortune in advertising and communications, which would explain why Snyder has such an affinity or an insistence on his brand and not changing it in any way, shape, or form.
Well, for a guy who's a communications and an advertising guy, you'd think he could write up some type of, application. Maybe roll it out on, Monster, somewhere.
LinkedIn.
Yeah, LinkedIn. Hey, head coaching vacancy. Would like to have not a knob. Yeah,
Maybe he needs to hire somebody to hire his football people.
his communications department needs to get him to shut the hell up. Oh wait, Jerry Jones. There's kind of a problem in that NFC East.
I
eh?
think it's when you got that much money, you just don't give a shit.
You got that FU money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
wow.
telling me to shut up? I'm going to talk more.
Fair enough. And one more NFL thing.
Oh, no, there's more NFL things.
There's more NFL
We
things.
haven't even got to
Okay.
last night's football game.
Did you see? I don't know if anybody else out there has seen it. Adam Gase had a presser before his Week 17 game. Okay. Did you
Okay.
see that?
No.
Okay. He's at the podium. He's taking questions or about to take questions, and the fire alarm goes off in the building. So they vacate. Okay. That guy, like Adam Gase, Broncos fan, right? He made his name off the back of Peyton Manning. He's rode that coattail to a couple of stops now, right? Adam Gase is a goofy mother. And I really think he paid an intern to pull it so he didn't have to talk to the media. That's my own theory.
Nice.
No?
Was that your last tidbit?
That was my last tidbit.
On the NFL? 'Cause
Well-
I'd like to talk about last night's game and how
The return of beast mode.
Pete Carroll screwed my Packers with getting home field advantage all the way through because they don't know how to manage
Packers
time.
are the 2 seed, man. They're
No, but
fine.
they need to play at home. I think they have like zero chance of,
If they have to go to San Fran,
yeah, or anywhere.
they're okay.
If they have to go anywhere, I think they have
I
zero
think they're
chance.
okay.
I've watched enough of this team this year, and they're riding on the back of that defense and third and fourth quarter comebacks.
Here's the
And
thing.
what wins
There's
championships?
two receivers who can catch the ball, Devontae Adams and Lazard. Nobody else can catch a ball, and then it's like the offense is 80% Aaron Jones right now,
Yeah, but
which is fine.
you have a guy in Rodgers. Do you show all your cards every game?
I'm not sure he's right this year.
Well, I don't know. I don't know that he's wrong. Maybe sometimes you just play your cards a little closer to the vest.
Like you just on
And when
purpose
you
miss
need
receivers
to, when
by
you
a
need to
foot.
break it out and widen the field and go 4 and come back 10 points.
Am I
in
the
fourth
Packer
quarter.
fan or are you the Packer fan?
No, I'm just saying, like, don't forget, Aaron Rodgers has won games when it matters, right? So
Well, this year, that's what they
you
have
have
done.
to always go out with 4 wide.
It's a lot more fun to watch.
Well,
Helps my fantasy
those
football
guys
team.
aren't there to make sure you're entertained. They're there to win games. So
I'm an owner.
I'm an owner.
See that right there? I'm an owner. He has to
just-
listen to me.
Just remember what won the game last night was a team with a fullback and a tight end.
Yeah, fair enough.
A really good tight end.
Really good tight end. Kittle
Packers have
skills.
3 tight ends,
Hey, it works for Baltimore. They
And-
roll 3 tight ends out all the time.
but they don't catch the ball very often.
Oh, that's secondary. That's a skill you have to take time and learn. Anyway, no, I just think, hey, just you're in the second seed position.
Yeah, no, it's
You got some time
It's
off.
really not the end of
You've
the world.
got a
I just really wanted
35-year-old
to
stud quarterback who
have a
can
little
sling it
vet.
around the yard if you need. Maybe you just don't always need to.
That's true. That defense is awesome, though.
It is awesome. So maybe, you used to come to coffee and you'd be bitching about McCarthy and he's predictable and he's this and he's that. Now you got a balanced football team and it's like, oh, I don't like balance. It's not entertaining. It's not entertaining.
It's not entertaining being 13-3.
Dazzle me. I'm here.
I sound like the owners of the
I'm
Chargers.
a goddamn owner. Dazzle me.
So sick and tired of sustained success.
That's
Do
very,
you know who I am?
It's very chargering of me. No.
Oh, you community-owned team guys.
Yeah.
Fickle.
Yeah. No. It's not that bad. Maybe they'll show me something in the playoffs.
If they win a Super Bowl and it's boring, do you care?
At least mine and Matt's teams are in the playoffs.
Oh, shut up.
So at least if my team's going to be number 2 to somebody, it's Matt's team.
Fair enough. You guys go off in the corner and hug it out. Anyway, we're talking about a team that doesn't have an opponent for a week, 2 weeks. Let's talk about some teams that do. Tennessee is going to New England. I really am intrigued by this matchup.
I
And
hope
who do you
Derrick
think's gonna
Henry
win?
just
Who do you think's going to win?
probably
At
the
New
Patriots.
England.
Probably the Patriots. I don't think they lose 2 games in a row at home.
I think they do.
I'd love that. Oh God, I would love that.
When the bus
bold
bus
prediction.
had tires on it and they were firing on all cylinders for many, many years, I think they're coming in with 2 flat tires, man. They don't have anything really in the way of continuity or explosiveness.
Certainly not on offense.
On
no.
offense.
No.
And the defense is
And
been
Edelman's
good,
like
but
at 60%.
yeah, he's not all right. But at the same time, I think, a guy like Vrabel, he's a smart dude.
Well,
he's
and
a
he
pretty
knows
savvy
that-
head coach.
He knows that system.
They've got, he does. He's going to know a few of those little niche things or maybe a tendency here or there. But I really think Tannehill's playing better football than Tom Brady. Crazy as it sounds. Miami's probably going, son of a bitch, why now? All those
Sometimes
years.
that happens.
But on top of that, I mean, Derrick Henry. And you've seen Bill get run over sometimes. His defenses sometimes have been run over from power backs.
Yep.
And the leading rusher in the league should not be doubted. Vrabel's going to run him hard, and he's going to run him north and south. I don't think
And
it'll
he's
be a
going
high.
to want to beat Bill.
Oh, for sure. But I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Like there may
Well,
not be
depend on the
30
weather.
total.
It could be really
Right.
crappy weather.
It might not be 30 total points, but I actually think
Crappier
Tennessee
the weather,
is
the better for Tennessee.
I don't know who's favored in that game. Probably New England,
I would
being
think
that
New
it's
England.
at home. But
Yeah.
I would take Tennessee, and that's not me being a Pats hater or anything.
But you are.
Well, cheaters can't always win. It's about time. Vrabel should check his hotel room though. It might be a camera
No kidding. Or a horse's head.
or a horse's head.
You
We're
have to be
on the
careful when you're worried about the bus with the 2 flat tires. Brady may have just deflated them on purpose.
Well, yeah. Well, he does have a supermodel wife, so if he's got
Yeah, like he gives
if
a
he's got
shit
flat,
what-
if he's
what
got
we
deflated
think.
balls, he's still doing okay.
Oh God. What's our
Anyway,
next game?
Buffalo and Houston. They're going to Houston.
Oh,
Nice game, right?
that's
Now Houston went out and got Tunsil. They paid. They're making a run, and I think their run is done at 1. Houston catches fire. Fair enough, but Buffalo has the number 1 rated defense in the league.
Buffalo's only problem will be
Can they
the
make-
youngness of that offense.
Right, and they're like one of the 5 youngest teams in the league.
Yeah.
Which makes them hungry.
Right.
They're very
but
well coached.
sometimes-
They've got a lot of developed players. Me personally, I think they just gotta get enough plays out of their offense
Is Watt
to
back
make
for
it
this
happen.
game?
Yes, he's been practicing. I expect he will play, but
Yeah.
I haven't heard official word that he will. But they had 21 days as of like a week or 8 days ago, whatever it was, to activate him.
Yeah, that should be a good game.
I think
I'd
so.
give the edge to Houston just because, once again, home team. But, wild cards in the last
Buffalo doesn't
few
know
years.
any better.
Yeah. And they're probably like, you mean we don't have to play in the cold? Kick ass.
Kick ass, right? Yeah, but they are. They're the
Going to
number
Houston.
one. They're the number one defense. McDermott's a very quality coach. They've got a very good staff there. They've drafted very well.
I think you were
developed
wrong
very
about
well.
Josh Allen, too.
Josh Allen, yeah. Well, big 6'6", corn-fed mother trucker. Yeah. No, he's made some plays, but when he's a little erratic, look out.
He's no Mitchell Trubisky.
No, well, Mitchell Trubisky. He couldn't hit water if you put him in a boat. Holy shit.
Mitchell
Anyway.
Trubisky is what you thought Josh Allen was going to be.
Yeah, fair enough. I thought, well, then again, when you think about it, looking back, I did have a moment's pause with Trubisky where I went, anybody the Bears think is good at quarterback is probably shitty at quarterback. But maybe one guy breaks that
Well, you got to play the
mold.
averages. And
draft
those-
100, get one.
Those odds are really good that they're going to screw it up.
Fair enough. The other game, Minnesota at New Orleans. I don't even think we should spend 2 minutes talking about this.
New Orleans is going to kick their ass.
New Orleans is going to win, especially in New Orleans.
And I'm going to say it right now on the Above Average Joe's podcast, episode number 3. The New Orleans Saints are going to win the Super Bowl this year.
You think so?
Yep.
Okay, we'll
their
fight.
year.
We're going to
It's their
fight
year.
about that later, but
It's their year.
I have other thoughts.
I think it's their year.
You think so?
Yep.
Who's their number 2 receiver?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does.
It doesn't matter.
You just bitched about the
Their number
Packers
2
having
receiver is-
only 2 guys
Their
can catch
number
the
2
ball. Well, that's
receiver
New
is that
Orleans.
Strevler guy you keep telling me
I
about.
thought it
Oh,
was
they
going
don't
to be
have him
Antonio
signed.
Brown.
Which I watched a bit of.
Antonio Brown,
What's his
yeah.
name? Taysom.
He could catch it if his
what
film
is his
crew
name?
gets out of the way.
What is that kid's name?
Taysom Hill?
Taysom Hill. So I watched a bit of his stuff, and that guy is like 800 times better than Strevler will ever be.
Well, guys are going to try to mimic it in some way.
I'm just saying.
Well,
Just saying.
just saying.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Anyways,
Anyway,
Super
no,
Bowl champs
here's
will be the
well,
New Orleans Saints.
Okay, and now here's my
if
next.
it's not the
okay,
Packers.
we'll spend 2 more minutes on him,
Okay.
only because does Mike Zimmer get fired if he loses that game?
And
I think he
Kirk
will.
Cousins will not be their quarterback anymore.
I think you're right. I don't think both of them are back. Put it that way. If Zimmer keeps his job, he'll ask for a new quarterback. If Zimmer gets let go, maybe the next guy wants Cousins. Depends what's out there, but
And I think if they keep Zimmer, that they'd keep Cousins just because of if they're already sticking with the status quo, why would you want to pay out that guaranteed
well,
contract?
they have a lot of weapons. Jameis Winston.
It's like Kirk Cousins with
Anyway, no, I think Zimmer gets fired. I think he gets fired. That's just me. But never say never. Stranger things have happened.
Oh, I love unrest in the north.
Well, there you go.
As long as it's not your team.
That's right.
As long as we got 2 guys
Hey,
to
dude,
pass to.
I honestly did not expect the Packers to be 13-3 this year. I did. And even watching the games, I'm like, how are they 13-3?
Well, keep setting the bar low. They'll keep beating up
Exceeding it.
on your expectations there, bud. Anyway, Seattle, Philadelphia. In Philadelphia.
Now, normally you would say it's Philly's game to lose, but man, they're like a skeleton of their team,
Yeah.
but yet they still seem to be able to win. But then you have Russell Wilson, who
But good,
is
deep
a
drafted team.
friggin' magician.
Right? Carson Wentz is little tidbit moment, timeout moment.
A timeout tidbit,
A timeout tidbit.
copyrighted.
If you say that too fast, it doesn't come out right. Carson Wentz is the very first Eagles quarterback to throw for 4,000
heard that.
yards in a season.
Yes.
I read that and I was like, bullshit. We're
And there's-
Googling. Get to the Google machine.
So McNabb never threw.
McNabb never cracked $4,000. Mike Vick had a great year there, never cracked $4,000.
He's also the only NFL quarterback to throw for over 4,000 yards and not have a single receiver with over 500.
Yeah. That shows you just how deep that roster is that they can keep putting people in and gaining yards. So as much as they're banged up, well, lucky for them, they had a pretty bullshit division, in terms
Exactly.
of
When it comes down to
competition.
brass tacks.
But I
Well, you
wouldn't
got the
doubt them.
Cowboys.
I wouldn't doubt them, though. You
Nope.
can't count them out.
No, you can't. But
They've won some ugly games, but they have a championship pedigree there. They've got some guys who've been around, played games when it matters.
yeah, but then you got the Seahawks. They're
Well,
7-1 on
Russell
the road.
Fair enough. And as long as Pete Carroll can chew at least 5 packs in that game, they may have a shot.
As long as
That's
he
the
can pay
key.
attention to the last
That's the
22
key.
seconds in the game.
It's all about the candy game in Seattle. It's not about the Skittles.
Just Skittles
How
and
many
gum.
packs of gum can Pete Carroll munch down?
I agree with Kyle. I think it's a lot about the clock.
Well, and Pete Carroll, and
Maybe less gum.
you being a
game
Packer
management.
fan, Pete Carroll coming out and saying that third down play was an obvious pass interference. Hey, Pete,
That
Karma's
delay
a
of game was
bitch.
pretty
they
freaking
can't.
obvious, too.
That happened to the Green Bay Packers, and you were the beneficiary. Just shut up, Pete. Just shut up. If you're any good,
I hate the Seahawks, and I
Well,
can't believe I was
I
cheering
don't
for them
hate the
last night.
Seahawks. It's
No,
just-
I hate the Seahawks.
it's just why make that comment? It was kind of a whiny comment. I don't know. I mean, of all the things.
No, it is.
It's so they wouldn't talk to him about his terrible time management.
Well, that too. Like who takes a penalty and goes back 5 yards when you're sitting on the what? 1, 2?
1 yard line.
1 yard line. Yeah.
Oh, that was so funny.
Unreal. I know what it wasn't even like they were close to lining up and just
No,
didn't
they
get
were
the
standing
snap off.
around
Yeah.
listening
I
to
jumped up
the
and
audience
down in
cheer for
excitement.
Marshawn.
Were they all waiting for their Starbucks?
Oh, that was funny.
Let's stand in a circle and be pretentious and wait for our overpriced coffee. I don't know.
I just assume that
was poor time
Seahawk
management.
fans are thought of in the same way that non-Rider fans think of Rider fans.
Well, whatever. I don't have any hate for Seattle fans. Just one. One day I'm going to say his name. He's going to come
Oh,
to my
so
front
we
door.
now know it's a male.
With his mustache?
No, I don't know.
No mustache?
I'm not gonna say.
I'm trying to figure it
Not
out,
gonna say.
kids.
Not
Is there
gonna
any
say.
kids listening to this show?
Anyway,
Tell your dads.
more of the point is they had ample opportunities to win that game. They blew it. They mismanaged the
Yeah.
clock.
Yes.
And I kind of thought that, I don't know, San Francisco looked a little sharper in most phases of the game. They
And
were more
all they
consistent.
needed to do was cover Kittle.
Well, cover Kittle, but, Debo Samuel, Mossert.
Samuel looks so good.
They have some guys who made some plays. So fair enough,
Samuel looked good.
No, he did.
I like
and
that.
he's looking better and better. Now that they've got Sanders there, they've got no pressure on any of those young guys to be the number one guy.
Yeah.
So it's made a big difference in that regard. So anyway, whatever. I really think that Seattle, Philadelphia, who do you think's going to take that one home? That's a pretty tough game to call.
Yeah. I'm going to Seattle's kind of like the Patriots for the NFC. You just
They're
can
gonna eke
never
one out.
you can never count them out with Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, them and the goddamn Packers.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I personally,
my Packers have been burned by
I
your
don't
team
think-
just as many times.
I don't think you go to the
Terrell
link
Owens.
and have an easy game of it.
Well, that's gonna be the
I really
probably
think-
one of the most fun
I think if
games
Carson
to
Wentz
watch.
gets in a rhythm early, they're winning that game. Sanders comes back and he's been running well, catching the ball well. Ertz is back.
Well, Kendricks being out will
If
certainly
they have
not
both
help.
healthy tight ends,
Seattle.
Sanders is healthy, I think they're going to do enough damage. I really do. I think Philly is a really tough
For sure.
place to win.
For sure.
I'm going to favor the home team. I know a little stat about the home team.
I
in
think
the
we
wild card.
favored the home team every
Speaking
time.
of wild card, timeout tidbit.
Oh,
Little
sponsored
tidbit.
by.
Yeah.
If you want your sponsor there, email us, Above Average Joe's Podcast @gmail.com.
Anyway, the tidbit being there's only 2 teams in the last decade who have not played in the wild card round. Who are they?
2 teams in the last decade who have not played in the wild
That was a
card
pretty
round.
long pause there. It sounds
New
like a Bill
England?
Belichick presser. It's
Like,
have not played a single wild card game.
including this year or not including this
Not
year?
including this year.
Are the
I'd say New
Patriots one of them?
Patriots.
Yes,
Yeah.
because they haven't played in a wild card since 08.
Yes, they've clinched every year. The
The
other one,
one, the
Cleveland.
Detroit Lions.
Cleveland.
Is it really?
That was going to be my second
Cleveland's
guess.
never played in a wild card game in the 2010s.
Nice.
One because they're so good, and the other because they're so bad.
Yeah.
That is a good tidbit.
Sounds like nipple tassels we're trying to advertise. Anyway,
Maybe we can get a sponsor of nipple tassels.
yeah, but then one of us has to sit here with nipple tassels on to advertise.
Matt will volunteer. Seems like something he'd already be into.
I got the man boobs. I guess
I may already be wearing them.
Anyway, we're going to talk a little bit. I just want
Are
to
we still in NFL?
Yeah, I wanted to go over just briefly some Player of the Year awards. Defensive Player of the Year.
Ooh,
Aaron Donald, Stephen
nope.
Gilmore,
Nope.
Chandler Jones.
Nope. Is that the nominees?
That would be my three.
Oh, no. Adarius Smith, whatever his name is. The one Smith brother. That guy.
I like his. I
He's
like his.
kick-ass.
Yeah, he's pretty kick-ass personality. I
know.
have
Let's
a problem.
give it to George Kittle
George Kittle. Why not?
for defensive
Does
player of
everything
the
else.
year.
Why not? He fools defenses all the time. No, Chandler Jones was very close to breaking a sack record.
Yeah, I like him.
The only problem I have with Chandler Jones winning it, and I think he's probably going to win it or be the runner-up. He's one or two. I think Aaron Donald's probably the third guy in that whole argument. He had a good year, but not that good of a year. He didn't repeat what he kind of did in previous years. Stephen Gilmore, corner with the Patriots.
Yeah.
My only beef with him, he's not even playing their top receiver.
Yeah.
They usually cover their number two receiver of whoever they're playing with him and then bracket the
What
other
about-
guy. So Gilmore can't be. If you can't even take away the number one receiver on the other team, and I know that's not entirely his fault.
What
That's
about
just the way
Watt?
it's schemed.
Like not JJ, TJ Watt.
TJ, pretty good. I think maybe defensive player of the year.
Isn't that what we were talking about?
Rookie, defensive rookie of the year, maybe.
Oh, is he not a rookie?
He's not a rookie, so he can't
it second
play.
year?
I just don't want him to win it. So Chandler Jones.
thought
I
he
think
was.
Chandler Jones gets it by default. But the big piss off with Chandler Jones is his team is last in the league for passing defense. If not second last, I'm pretty sure they're last. Well, yeah, you're playing from behind constantly. You should have sacks. In a blitz-happy scheme, for sure.
Yeah.
So I don't even think he's really deserving. It's like winning the NHL scoring title and you're Connor McDavid on a non-playoff team. Yeah, I don't think you shouldn't be winning the MVP,
yeah.
right? So maybe you get your scoring title, but I don't know. I'm not too big on that one, but defensive rookie of the year though, Nick Bosa, I think is probably the odds-on favorite. Devin Bush had a good year with Pittsburgh, but
Yeah, no, it's...
Pittsburgh had some defensive problems till they went and got Minka Fitzpatrick from the Dolphins, and then all of a sudden, defense is playing good. So, Devin Bush, good as he is. Josh Allen also with Jacksonville. He's got some individual numbers, but that defense underperformed all year, and he didn't have crazy numbers. Bosa's just an impact guy from day one.
I'd be shocked if it's not Bosa.
So we're in agreement on that one. Pretty short conversation. The offensive rookie of the year. Now, if Josh Jacobs wasn't out with a shoulder issue for those few games, I think he gives Kyler Murray a go. And Daniel Jones starts from day one. I think he also gives Kyler Murray a go. Think Kyler Murray gets it only because he played every damn game.
Would you put DJ Metcalf in the conversation?
Nope.
Just because he wasn't
I actually think
impactful enough?
AJ Brown was a 1,000-yard receiver with Tennessee, and they had quarterback issues. So
Sure.
he's, to me, maybe a little more deserving if a wide receiver is deserving. Metcalf, I think, hasn't anywhere near touched his ceiling. But,
No.
I mean, still, he also has a pretty damn good quarterback throwing him the ball. And they had some issues with injuries, and he didn't look bad, but he didn't really take right off either. So, but I think Kyler Murray's the offensive rookie of the year. I think he has to be. He played all the games. He has good numbers.
Yeah.
What do you do, right? Jacobs missed games.
Can't disagree.
So Yeah, I hate guys getting it by default though. Like,
Well, that feels like kind of,
play your way into it.
Yeah.
You know,
Like Bosa.
like Bosa. Yeah. Well, anyway, and then I'm pretty sure we're in agreement. The MVP, the offensive player of the year, is probably Lamar Jackson.
Yes.
No brainer. No
Yes,
brainer.
not George Kittle.
Easy now. Maybe Lamar will just be like, nah, I don't want it. I don't want it. I'm going to win a lot of these damn
I want
things.
George to have it
Give it to George. He has no soul.
because we just beat them in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Anyway, Maddie, don't cry when you hear that. Moving on to stud quarterbacks, though, we got a pretty interesting little college football situation.
Oh, Jesus. It's going to be a...
Trevor Lawrence wins it all last year, beats Tua, right? Now he has to go against Joe Burrow and beat Burrow. By the time Trevor Lawrence comes out, his resume is going to be freaking deadly if he can win this game. But Joe Burrow thrown 7 touchdowns, 493 yards,
Yeah.
7 passing TDs and a rushing TD. That's ungodly. Those are Madden numbers.
It was insane.
Hey?
Just all over the place.
I don't know, man. Oklahoma must have been set to like Madden rookie mode. He just mopped
He
them.
looked pro.
He looked yeah.
pro.
Very poised and can make all the throws too. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure if he wasn't the odds-on favorite for being the top pick, he is now for sure with a bullet, right?
Yeah.
So
No doubt.
I don't know
now.
if since he even waits for the national final, like, do you wait for the title game? Just slide the card in now. Just mail it to Goodell.
Yeah.
FedEx it. Anyway, no. Joe Burrow had a one for the ages type of game, kind of like Vince Young. Remember when Vince Young won the Rose Bowl? That was a one for the ages type performance.
I think Burrow's a lot better of a quarterback than
Wow.
Young.
What was Vince Young's Wonderlic test? It
3?
wasn't double digits.
3?
It wasn't double digits.
I think it was 3 or 6 or
it's
something.
pretty bad when your shoe size is bigger than your Wonderlic score. Isn't that?
Have you ever taken it?
No, I haven't.
We should do that sometime.
Yes.
I would love to know
I would gladly
what
take
your
the
Wonderlic.
Wonderlic. I would gladly take it.
It doesn't mean you get to lick the test, though.
I don't give a shit. I'm pretty sure I could have a half a bottle of rye and write a double-digit score. Sorry.
At least better than Vinny.
Oh, of course. Yeah, better than Vinny. Better than Vinny. The only quarterback.
Ex-Saskatchewan Roughrider.
Yeah, well, X. Heavy on the X there. But he rivals Terry Bradshaw in terms of notoriety when it comes to not maybe the brightest bulb in the...
Yeah, well, he played in a time where you didn't have to be.
What was the quote
That's smart.
about him? You couldn't spell cat if you spotted
If
him.
you spot him the C and the
C and the T or something. Yeah. Terry. God love him. Creepy old dude. Anyway, Clemson did win it last year, though, over Bama. So I don't think Trevor Lawrence can be discounted. He came up clutch. He didn't have great numbers.
He's a weird-looking dude.
He is a weird-looking dude, but I kind of like that. Who needs the polished up?
He does not look like a guy who plays like he plays.
He looks like he pulls up to the stadium in a Camaro.
Yeah.
Crushes a Coors and just goes, let's get her done.
Exactly.
Right? Isn't he?
Yeah.
Totally. I love it. I don't know.
It should be a great game.
It'll be a good game. And I don't think anyone needs to worry about defense because it's pretty much irrelevant. I do think LSU's is maybe a little bit better,
I would say they are.
but
They're a good defense.
yeah, Clemson's got a lot of pedigree though, having won that title last year too. So I don't know. I mean, we're in it'll be a slobber knocker. I would tune in. That's all I'm going to say. Tune in January 13th
I will be there.
on the Ocho. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, let's move on. Well, let's move on to the NHL. So I got a little beef. We got some Leaf fans out there.
Beef with the Leaf?
The beef with the Leafs. The Leafs. Anyway, if you guys can just perk your ears up and stop drooling for a moment, I'm gonna go on a little rant here about the Leafs.
I'm all ears.
Okay. Among other things. They won a game against New Jersey a few days back, right? In overtime. Did you see that?
Nope.
No? Okay. They're playing the New Jersey Devils, who just traded away Taylor Hall because they've got nothing but a full-scale dumpster fire of a season going. They're probably picking top 3 next year, depending on the lottery, but very well in the running for number 1 overall. That's how bad they are. So watching the post game, you hear these Leaf commentators, TSN, the Toronto Sports Network, these commentators, and I mean, we all listen to, but we don't have a choice. We don't exactly have a lot of other options for sports programming, right? So anyway, they're going down and they're breaking down this game, and it's like, well, they found a way to win, right? They're playing big time hockey. It's clutch. It's da-da. Do you know how they won that game? New Jersey shot it in their own goddamn net. So what was their philosophy that night? Pass it to a New Jersey defenseman to score for us in overtime? They found a way to win? You barely beat in overtime a shitty opponent who put it in his own net.
Hey, the Patriots would say sometimes it's not that easy to beat a shitty opponent.
Well, I'm just a little tired of this whole, oh my God, they're so good, they're so good, they're so good. And then the endless breakdown of the game. Yes, they have good players. Yes, they can play good hockey. But let's just call a spade sometimes and say they got shit lucky against a bum opponent that they should have pounded the crap out of in the first 2 periods and trapped for most of the third. I couldn't believe it. I had to turn it off. I had to turn it off because I'm like, how in good faith, how with a straight face could you be an analyst and be like, oh, they found a way to win? Jesus Christ. Anyway, yeah, New Jersey's picking top 3 next year, so don't
Don't
get
get
the
too
goddamn
excited.
parade route.
Well, they
planned
like
out.
to get the parade going,
Oh my God. Anyway, speaking of parades that are probably not going to happen, you see
Edmonton?
Edmonton. Ooh. I know a lot of Edmonton fans, so I might.
I used to be an Edmonton fan
'Kay.
when I liked hockey.
Well, your goalie is now showing his true colors. He was the last present by Chiarelli given to your club. Right?
Present.
Right? So, anyway, shitty present, since we're talking about like Christmas time here. It's a bad contract, right? So, the big slide here recently, they're 4-10-1, I think, over their last 15. Connor McDavid was playing 22, almost 23 minutes a game. So was Draisaitl, right? Which is an incredible amount of ice time for an NHL forward.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, they're on the ice 4 or 5 minutes more than most top-end guys. They're going to win a scoring title. If Sidney Crosby could somehow, in his prime, a couple years back, play 23 minutes a bloody game, yeah, he probably cracks 100, 120 points. But winning hockey doesn't necessarily require you to play that.
Right.
Now they backed off his minutes and he's playing about 19 a game over the last 10, 12 games. Him and Draisaitl have horrendous plus minuses. They're losing freaking games like they're going out of style now. Well, yeah, because now you're exposed. You did no development in the beginning of the season with the rest of your forwards. You robbed them of ice time, which maybe in turn robbed them of confidence. Now you're asking them to play significant minutes because you can't just lean on those 2 big guys the whole way. You'll wear them out, and then it'll be playoff time. You'll sneak in, and they'll have empty tanks, right? Or they'll be hurt. They'll be too nicked up to really be effective. Like, it's time to wake up, Oiler fans. Smell the roses. If you're in any way, shape, or form realistic about your team right now, you would actually hope they don't make the playoffs. That sounds crazy. They're desperate for the playoffs, but don't make the playoffs. Move up. Get yourself some talent,
Yep.
right? The cupboard is bare in terms of prospects. Pajärvi's their main prospect, and he won't come to play with them, and they can't move him because they keep dropping the ball on that one. Like, you don't have any wingers. You have 3 lines, possibly 4 lines worth of AHL quality wingers. James Neal being the only guy I can think of that's in any way, shape, or form a respectable NHL name. And even him started out hot. And what's he now? He's a $6 million clipboard holder, essentially, right? Like, yeah. Anyway, let's just be realistic here, Oiler fans. And those 2 guys are both good enough skaters that there's no reason they should be minuses. Part of the reason they are is they're either tired or they're lazy in their own end. They're cheating for offense because the rest of the roster sucks.
So deficient, yeah.
Sucks. So they're cheating for offense. So you see it all the time with dub hockey, SJ hockey, even kids hockey. There's guys that get a little bit of wiggle room and they can cheat because you need goals. Yeah, well, doesn't happen in the show. It doesn't happen. Eventually it comes to fruition and it bites you in the ass. So anyway, yeah. I'm just hammering on 2 Canadian teams, hey? Maybe not,
But
maybe
you're
not the best.
Hey, no, you're being truthful though. Like,
I really, 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 really want to see the Oilers get it together already and actually be a legitimate, solid club.
starts at the top.
But they don't even have cap room to go get a guy, signing or within a trade, right? So they got a couple years to clean up their cap situation to get it so that they can do something with the rest of the roster.
When's McDavid become a free agent? How many more years do they have him
he's
for?
got a lot of years on his contract left, but also big money, right? So $12 million guy.
But you also can't waste that talent.
No, that's true. But I think McDavid is just entering his peak years. Like he's a young guy. He's got probably 10 really good high-end years. Now, if you
stop wasting.
Clean up your mess now in the next couple, you can make legit runs. But you got to draft better. You got to develop better. You got to sign better. Thank God Chiarelli's not there. But Ken Holland just ran Detroit into the frickin' dirt. So are you going to get much better out of him?
I think it all starts at the top with the Oilers.
Well, for sure it does, right? For sure it
Saying
does.
Daryl Cates?
Yep.
Well, and he's too much of a fanboy.
He hires the next guy. And you keep hiring ex-players as guys who are going to run your team.
It's the old boys club, and that's the problem. But anyway, enough about the Oilers. Enough.
Too much.
I'm done. I want to talk about John Tortorella. Because if I don't sound like a little bit of an angry guy right now, a little pissy.
He was absolutely right.
John Tortorella. Tortorella. I'm only drinking water, folks. That's not vodka. Tortorella.
Not this time.
And old Johnny McDonald used to drink straight vodka in the house, man.
Nice.
Yeah. No wonder we got the rules we got sometimes. Anyway, Tort's going off about his 1 second, going to overtime when they shouldn't have went to overtime. And then losing his starting goalie, who's been playing very well. And actually, All-Star nods came out today. He's on the list for the All-Star game. So, I don't know. The thing that I don't get, and the director of like Colin Campbell, the director of hockey ops with the NHL, came out and said that Tortorella's comments were unprofessional.
That might have been the most professional he's ever been.
And unacceptable. Well, here's the thing, though. Colin Campbell issued a statement. It was like a 5-point bulletin. He never clarified why they never put the time back on.
Yeah.
Basically, it boiled down to, we don't want to. Well, that's not how it works, man. They have all this tech. And I don't know about anyone else out there, but I mean, to me, the NHL has tried very hard to get their tech side of their game, be tech savvy, have the coaches challenges and, video review in Toronto helping you out and everything else. And every time every time they introduce something or something's put in there, they fuck it up. Can I say that? Yeah, I will just say it. They fuck it up. You've got all this tech and you can't seem to put it in and use it effectively. That was a time right there when they should have went to Toronto. They should have used it effectively. They should have put the time back on the clock. And who's running the clock? Some homer? Yeah. Wonder why the seconds run off? I know they're all hired officials, but they're not flying in guys from Boston to go do a game in Columbus, right? Mm-hmm. So it's some homer, and yeah, he slipped the second off. I don't know, like maybe. I'm just theorizing.
But still, isn't that the whole point of having Toronto is
But that's the thing. You've got the tech. The tech is there to override it. The tech is there for those refs to use to make sure they get it right. Did they not want to go to Toronto in case they'd be embarrassed?
Well, that's the way.
That's what it sort of looks like.
It's the way it seems like in the NFL with their pass interference challenges because.
But all the tech in the world doesn't help stupid.
No, it's like they don't want the refs to be embarrassed.
Hey, as a ref, my job is to get it right.
Yep.
So if I get it right, if I do what it takes to get it right.
I still don't understand why referees aren't accountable if they make a bad call, why they don't have to come out and...
Well, and they get punished by not being in a asked to do the playoff games down the line because they're assessed and their assessment's too low and then, well, fair enough. But I would rather have a guy who gets it right, will do his due diligence to get it right. Because it just showed up that when you didn't do your due diligence, it costs teams points.
Well, especially when you have the technology to solve the problem.
Right, exactly.
It's not like, I wish we were able to. No, you have it.
You have the tech. Colin Campbell, I hate to tell you, buddy, you're wrong. Torts was right. I don't care how Torts delivers the message.
The message was right, yes.
He's still right. Right? Right.
You're bloody well right.
You're bloody well right. Anyway, yeah, all the tech in the world can't help stupid. I feel bad for Tortorella. I love his rants, and that was a mild one. That wasn't even that harsh.
Nice.
Did he say an F-bomb?
I think so.
Oh, well. Anyway, that brings me to my next point was the All-Star game, and the rosters came out, and there's no Ovi. He said he's not going. He wants to get healthy for the playoffs, for the stretch run. Why they put all this effort into different formats and everything else to make it a fans weekend and make it entertaining, and they don't have Ovi and they don't have Sid the Kid.
That's going to happen more and more often in all of these All-Star games. I think an All-Star game has become obsolete.
I believe it is.
The stakes are too high for these players. It's no different. Like,
well,
okay,
so the owners too, right?
Well, so you have the
there is a bit of a
All-Star
grab, right? They're showcasing it in these non-traditional hockey markets, which helps grow the game. Granted.
Well, yeah, but
when you show up with a half-assed product, is it really showcasing the game? Let's face it, everybody showcasing the game, that's the hardest shot competition, all the skills competition crap the day before.
Probably want your most skilled players there, wouldn't you?
I would say so.
The point of an All-Star game.
In terms of entertainment, I'm more intrigued by the skills competition than I am by the games.
Oh, they could throw the game right out. Just show in all of these leagues.
There's actually one roster of the four from the four different divisions has one defenseman coming.
Nice.
For real. No roster has more than 3. That's pretty bad. That's atrocious, really. And then you look at a Columbus, they're being out their goalie. That's, it's a train wreck. The whole thing's a train wreck. Just cancel the damn thing. Have a skills competition, and I'm sure Ovi would come for a skills competition.
In all of them.
And have some fun.
In basketball, in baseball, have the home run competition. In basketball, have the three-point competition. I loved when they used to have in the NFL... The NFL Network used to show that skills competition all the time. They used to have, and the flag football game with the alumni.
Yeah,
that's all you need.
Yeah,
and then parade out your all-stars to meet the fans. They don't need to watch you skate around.
No, true.
for a meaningless skate.
It is a meaningless.
But then
skate.
you have, what I don't understand is you have the NHL. You want your good players to come and play in a meaningless All-Star game, but then you're trying to fight for them to not go and play the Olympics.
Yeah, well, it's directly beneficial to them
Well,
to
of
play
course.
the All-Star game, but I mean, no, just cancel the
But for
whole
a
damn
player,
thing.
but for a player, they're looking at it the same way. I have an opportunity to get injured and affect my run at a.
Yeah, well, Ovechkin not going, saying he's not going, and gave his reasons, and I would totally agree with his reasons.
Mm-hmm.
He's a 34-year-old power forward. I think he needs to be healthy for when it matters, and I think he wants one more cup. He's hungry that way. I'll give the guy credit, but Sid's not going. I don't recall who my Flyers are sending. I just looked at it briefly, but I know Claude Giroux's not going. But at the same time, you've got some teams with some big names, and they're not going. So there's a lot of traditional hockey markets where their guy isn't going, or the biggest name in town at the very least, they're not tuning in. So if you don't get viewership out of a place like Philadelphia or Washington or Pittsburgh, that's significant. Are you going to make that up in who you get extra in Florida or whatever shithole non-hockey market that you put it in? Yeah, I don't think so. Cancel the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
Cancel it.
Yeah, moving on.
Moving on. I'm just going to take a breather. Now we're talking hockey. Everybody watched game 1 against the U.S. Good hockey game.
Good hockey game.
Two good teams.
Started off slow, but...
Two medal contending teams.
And then...
those Russians. We played Putin's boys, and it didn't go well.
Didn't go well.
What are your thoughts?
Well, my problem with the game is, yes, your captain goes down, your best player.
Well, he's not the captain, but he's an assistant. But
right,
yes,
but he's the best player.
He's your best player. Yes.
He's your best player.
Weapon, for sure.
And it almost seemed like they just folded their tents.
They put her in cruise control.
It seemed like less than cruise control.
Which, for Dale Hunter, must have drove him absolutely nuts. He's a pretty fiery competitor. He was as a player. I think he is as a coach. He's used to winning. I don't know about mailing it in. I'm not saying they didn't.
Well, what
but
I don't understand is,
he must have been pissed.
Aren't these guys captains, or at least assistant captains, or at least the leaders of their prospective teams?
Yeah.
So shouldn't they already have that kind of medal to that guy down? You know, we got to pick shit up.
There's still 4 undrafted guys that are playing in that game. Did you notice any of them? They have every reason to play. Like, leadership aside, I totally agree with that point. But you got 4 kids when Lafrenière went out that are undrafted. It is time to shine. Right? Be a kid from Kazakhstan. Yeah, you're not winning a medal, you know that, but you're going because it's a showcase and people are watching. And you could be down to pick a traditional hockey nation. You could be down by 7-8 goals. You're still going to play your ass off. Somebody's watching. I want to take the next step. I want to up my draft stock. Mm-hmm. So beyond the leadership, there's still those young guys being watched. And it's the 4th youngest team. And that's something that keeps getting overlooked as far as I'm concerned. It's a 19-year-olds tournament. And if you're the 4th youngest team we've ever sent there, maybe that's why the leadership was lacking. Maybe that's why they didn't respond as well.
That's a good point.
I don't think that is. I mean, maybe the leadership wasn't as good. I tend to agree. But there's a bit of a character and a pride issue there too, right? So if you look at it, and this is just me, and I know there's a lot of people that are hammering on the effort part of it, but Nico Daws was in there, and he got yanked, right? 4 goals, 17 shots. Daws gets yanked out of that game, and you look at those 4 goals, and the one was the clown car blooper up in the air, right? So that's just shit luck. But 3 goals on the other 16 shots, you show me where they had guys tied up or they had lanes blocked up so nobody could either coast through, dangle through, or shoot through. The defensive effort was lacking. Mm-hmm. Lacking. Now, I don't know if that's scheme.
I don't know. Is
or
anybody
commitment
is
or what
anybody
it was,
blaming
but
Daws?
Nico Daws took it on the chin, and
I don't hear much of the blame going on him.
well, he didn't get another start.
Well, but that's
But they did have to start Hofield at some point, as far as I'm concerned. But at the same time, I mean, he's a good goalie. They're both good goalies.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't play in front of that guy, they're going to get exposed or not exposed, but they're going to get
Hung out to
basically
dry.
run over. They're hung to dry. They can only do so much. So to me, there wasn't enough commitment to the back end or commitment to playing physical hockey. They turned pucks over in the first period of that game right at both blue lines. Cardinal sin in hockey. The worst turnover in hockey is 3 feet on either side of the blue. Just don't do it. Where was the chip and chase? Never adjusted. No chip and chase. The Russians chipped and chased. They out-hit us. They out-skated us. They out-Canadianed us.
Mm-hmm.
So why the hell are we showing up there with a team that doesn't want to hit, can't hit? Like, look at Byfield, right? We talked about him before. 6'5" centerman, playing the left wing. He's on the wall. He's 6'5" at 17. He can't hit a dude.
Getting out-battled.
Do you remember Eric Lindros back in the day when he was at the World Juniors? Man-child. He's bigger than Eric Lindros. At least height-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Hit a guy. If I was losing 4-0, I'd be trucking somebody. I'd be pissed. Where's the pushback? Leadership, right? Like you said, leadership. But where's the Canadian game? Where's maybe breaking it down and keeping it simple? Collapse on your own net, chip and chase, enter the zone, run some Russians over, right?
Yeah. Well,
There's
Hunter's
only
only
one way-
working with the ingredients he was given
Fair enough. But,
because I don't believe he picked the team, right?
well, not entirely. He had input. He had input.
Of the players that
but
were brought there, though.
were brought there, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Dale Hunter's a nasty piece of work when he played. He was a tough-nosed bugger. I believe he's the only guy in NHL history who's got 1,000 career points and 3,000 penalty minutes. You can look that up, Matt. I'm pretty sure of that one. So that you could tell, that's the kind of style of guy he is.
Yeah.
Where was that in their game? They were fine with running around, hitting things in the U.S. game. So it isn't like they don't have a team that can do it.
Well, a bit of a bounce back today.
Right. And beating Germany is like beating your little sister.
Did you watch the whole game?
I did watch the whole game.
I watched bits and pieces. And
Germany's got a talented team.
They're a good team. I certainly saw a lot more hustle from Canada, and I thought goaltending was very good.
Yeah.
I
Well,
thought that Hofer
hopefully-
played great.
Yeah, I agree. Is he the starter next game?
I would think so.
You think so?
I think you have to
Okay. Why
go
not,
with the hot hand,
Why not Nico?
because I think you go with the hot hand.
Yeah. I think because you trust him.
Whatever it is.
What did he do that was so bad? Like, I know I said what I said with Nico and not maybe having the support.
Right.
I don't think either of them really got support. Just happened one guy got 4 against them, the other 2. So
Yeah.
Germany, I think either way, we're going to see Hofield in that Germany game. So I think it's going to be who they trust from here on in, and they have to win the. Excuse me. They have to win the next one. They have to win the next one.
Yeah.
So
And it's not a gimme.
no, it's not. And the Czechs are going to be motivated.
They're
it's at home. It's going to be a decent game. I don't know that they're going to maybe make it in. If they beat us, they'd need a little help. I believe Germany and the Russians also play. I would expect Russia to beat the Germans, but that means they're right on our heels.
Yeah, the Russians have 2 losses, right?
Right. But we can't afford to lose to the Czechs, right?
No.
So that tiebreaker.
No, if we win,
just win.
nothing else matters.
Nothing
it's
else
like
matters.
It's like the Russia game didn't happen.
Well, and it's kind of funny because I had a buddy who was like, well, if we play this game and then we play this game at this day and we match up with, and I go to like hockey tournaments all the time and lacrosse tournaments with my kids, and you get these parents and they run over the frickin' board in the lobby, right? And they're like, well, we would play these guys if we win and we play these guys if we lose. And I've head coached like a number of teams. And I always say, I don't give a shit who we play. I don't care.
Play our own
Tell
game.
me when I play.
Yeah.
I don't care who I play.
We used to do that as kids, though, too.
But the whole like, well, if we win, we're here. If we lose, we're there. We're not going to lose. Let's not even enter that into the equation.
Yeah.
How about you parents go over there?
Yeah. When we win,
You
we
go,
play.
You go figure out all that crap. Don't fill the kids' heads with crap. Don't let them think about losing. They just got to play the next game the way they're supposed to play the next game. Keep it simple. It just baffles me because they sit there and they're just like little supercomputers, and then they come in because you're the head coach or whatever. They're tapping you on the shoulder. Oh, have you ever thought about this? Shut up. Just shut up. We're gonna win, and tell me when we need to be there so that we can win. And if we keep winning, it doesn't matter. Nothing else matters.
Nothing else matters.
It doesn't matter who wins this other game on this semifinal. Hey, if we make the final, somebody will line up on the other end and we'll play them. Okay, good. We'll figure it out. It'll be fine. Yeah, overanalyzing. Must be must be Leaf fans. Okay, I'm getting a little crabby here, so I think we'll maybe call it a show. But
I think it's probably about time.
I think we'll talk maybe a little bit about World Juniors maybe
Next week?
next week. There'll be a little bit to talk about.
Maybe we'll even bring in a guest, talk a little more NHL.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a guest. We could have a number of guests, but depends what
I
goes
guess you'll
on.
have to show up
Will it
next
be
week
an
We'll have to
NHL?
show up next week, see
to
who
find out who it is.
Yeah. Anyway,
That was a good show. Episode 3.
it was fun.
3 down, 8 million to go. All right, I'm Kyle.
I'm Heath.
And Matt's back in the booth there, and we'll see you next week from the Above Average Joe's podcast. Laters.
Laters.